Have you ever had one of those moments when you're at the beach and the water's cold and you kind of get used to it and you're paddling around and then all of a sudden a warm patch comes and you, whoa, this is nice. It's like a little moment of heaven and you enjoy it. You know, it's like a private pool in the middle of the sea, and then it drifts away and you don't know where it's gone and you wonder where did these things come from, you know? And it's like a moment. And today I'm going to read a poem called Nirvana, and it's Charles Bukowski as a young man, and he's obviously riding the Greyhound bus and he's going through the hills of North Carolina, and he had one of these moments, and he expresses it very well in this poem. And the reason why I liked it myself is because I had a really amazing moment myself in South America, in Peru. I was walking up a trail towards this village called Huamanguilla, and it was a very alien kind of landscape to me, you know. But all of a sudden there was a field of flowers next to me, wild flowers, and the sun was shining and the breeze, it was warm. And it wasn't just that there were nice flowers or a nice field or anything like that. It was just a moment, one of these incredible moments. I felt like I could just walk into this field and lay down in this moment of paradise and never come back. Like just never come back. It was just so overwhelming. I had a wife, a home with 3 children who I loved, and yet it was so powerful. I never wanted to leave that moment. And then just like the warm water on the beach, you know, it went, and I continued, but I never forgot that moment. Some years later, I read this poem by Bukowski. It's called Nirvana. And so because he expressed it so well in the poem, I thought, oh yeah, I love this, you know, because I understand. And maybe you understand, maybe you've had Nirvana moments. Why don't you write to me and tell me about them? That'd be great. But anyway, here we go. This is Charles Bukowski's Nirvana. Not much chance, completely cut loose from purpose. He was a young man riding a bus through North Carolina, on the way to somewhere, and it began to snow. And the bus stopped at a little cafe in the hills, and the passengers entered, and he sat at the counter with the others, and he ordered. The food arrived, and the meal was particularly good, and the coffee. The waitress was unlike the women he'd known. She was unaffected. There was a natural humour about the way she came across. And the fry cook said crazy things, and the dishwasher in the back laughed a good clean laugh. And the young man watched the snow through the window, and he wanted to stay in that cafe forever. The curious feeling ran through him that everything was beautiful there, and it would always be beautiful there. Then the bus driver told the passengers that it was time to board. And the young man thought, I'll just stay here. I'll just stay here. But then he rose and he followed the others into the bus, found his seat and looked at the cafe out of the window. Then the bus moved off down the curve, downward out of the hills. And the young man looked straight forward, and he heard the other passengers speaking of other things, whether they were reading or trying to sleep. And they hadn't noticed the magic. And the young man put his head to one side, closed his eyes, pretended to sleep. There was nothing else to do. Just listen to the sound of the engine and the sound of the tires in the snow.